Ladies and gentlemen, All Out Destruction Tour Season 5 is about to get started. Beamng.drive Monster Jam is back. And thanks to the hard work of those over at Beam Monsters, we now have the most realistic Monster Jam chassis that has ever been put in any type of game ever. And that is the chassis we're going to be using. So don't go anywhere. The days of chassis differences are over. Now it's all going to be about driver ability. Don't go anywhere. We're about to get started.
Are you talking, guys? What the sucking blade? Run destruction! Engines roar, skies ignite, metal beasts in endless fight. Tires crush the earth, fuel-fed chaos giving birth. Madness reigns, no retreat. Feel the thunder, feel the heat. Through the flames we ride, monsters in the sky. All out destruction, metal gods we ride. All out destruction, crush and burn collide. Wheels of fury, worlds collide. All out destruction, unleash pride. All out destruction, metal gods we ride. All out destruction, crash and burn collide. Wheels of fury, worlds collide. All out destruction, unleash
It's time to kick off All Out Destruction Tour Season 5, the West Coast Tour on Fridays. And who better to start with than Vendetta, driven by none other than Sweatz, our previous season champion. Only lost 2 times last season. And he'll be taking on Mr. Luna in Excalibur out of Houston, Texas. So North Carolina versus Texas. Will Mr. Luna make his mark on this season by taking down Sweatz, or will Sweatz just pick up right where he left off last season? And that is just absolutely dominating the field as we get ready for our first race of Season 5, and we're off. The new Beam Monsters resized chassis. You can go download it now on their website. And it looks like Mr. Luna's having all sorts of trouble as Sweatz is just going to navigate this course nice and calmly to get his first W of the season, picking things up right where they left off last season. Tough break for Mr. Luna, but I'm sure he'll get this thing figured out as Vendetta is going to move on, picking up our first win of racing in All Out Destruction Tour Season 5. More of the same for Sweatz as we move on to our next race. A new truck on the series, Overboard, driven by Kermit Gardner, 23 out of Houston, Texas, driving Overboard. This is our first chance to get a look at him in All Out Destruction Tour. A lot of new faces this season, and he'll be taking on Blockerhead, driving Monster Energy. Now, Blockerhead also a new face this season on All Out Destruction Tour, so we're excited to see what these guys got in store for us when it comes to racing as we get ready to fire up race number 2 in All Out Destruction Tour. And we're off. Both drivers get a similar start to the race on this typical Chicago-style track. Overboard looks good, but there's Monster Energy with a bit of a lead. It looks like Overboard had a bit of trouble in that one turn, and it's going to be Monster Energy Blockerhead picking up a big-time win to make his debut here in All Out Destruction Tour. Tough break for Overboard as he was running a good race. It just wasn't enough. As we get a look at another new driver, Connor out of Tampa, Florida, driving Sudden Impact. He'll be taking on, well, me in USA 1 this season. E.G. Lately out of Philadelphia, PA, 39 years old, the Unk, the senior driver of this group of young drivers. Let's see if I've got what it takes to turn my luck around and have a much better season for Season 5 than I had in Season 4. And it looks like Connor's in all sorts of trouble, which is going to give me a nice and easy first race of the night, and I love that. That is not something I got used to last season as we wait for Sudden Impact to finish up his race. And there's Sudden Impact finishing the race. I always tell these young drivers, make sure you finish the race because you never know if a penalty was made during the race by your opponent or not. But USA 1 picking up his first victory, and I love that. As we get ready for our next race, Wildside, a truck we saw last season, but with a new driver behind the wheel. Yarner out of Houston, Texas, 21 years of age. The young guy looking to make his mark. He'll be taking on Square Force 1, which is an old school Dodge truck. You love to see it. Square Force 1, new to AODT, Racer 29X, driving that as we get ready for our last race of round number 1, Wildside versus Square Force 1. Who's going to take it on this Chicago-style track? Both new drivers. As we get started, Square Force 1 gets a nice jump out the gate. Both drivers seem to have a little trouble in that first turn. But Square Force 1, oh no, he's in all sorts of trouble as Wildside's able to hit that jump and make up the distance, but it's all going to come down to this last turn. Now, Square Force 1 is going to finish the race first, but let's go back and look at the replay because I think you'll be surprised to know that that race is actually going to go to Wildside, and here's why. Right there, 5-second penalty for Square Force 1, and even if you win the race, you still lose because that 5-second penalty adds 5 seconds to your time. So Wildside by Yarner moving on to the next round. Big-time victory for Yarner in his debut in All Out Destruction Tour. As we get ready for our next race, this driver here is running Friday Tour Nismo, who did all this hard work you see on those driver cards there. Nismo has been absolutely insistent on making this the best season of All Out Destruction Tour ever. But unfortunately for Nismo, he's going to have to face the King of the Castle and Sweatz driving Vendetta. Texas Bandit versus Vendetta. Now, you didn't get a chance to see Nismo last season, but let me tell you, this guy knows how to friggin' drive. As we get ready for Nismo versus Sweatz, this should be an absolute killer race as both of these drivers are top-tier talents. Both drivers looking good into the first turn. Nismo has to slow down to do a bit of a correction, which gives Sweatz just a mild lead at the moment. It's all going to come down to this last turn here, and Texas Bandit crosses the line first, but was he able to get his tires on the ramp? Let's go back to the replay and take a look at this. As you see at the bottom of your screen, Texas Bandit has trouble getting back all 4 tires onto the ramp, and that's going to mean he got a 5-second penalty, which gives Vendetta and Sweatz the win. Tough break for Nismo as he was absolutely cooking and made up a ton of distance on that last half of the track, but Vendetta and Sweatz moving on to the next round. A bit of a gift for Vendetta there, as Nismo definitely could have ruined his party. As we get ready for Steamroller Chicken, 18 out of Flint, Michigan, one of the younger drivers on tour in that 90s Dodge. Looking good. He'll be taking on Monster Energy Blockerhead, who looked so good in round number 1. Does he have what it takes to take off one of the veterans in Chicken? Into the first turn they go. Chicken looks like he has trouble. And that's going to give Monster Energy a big lead. Chicken's going to have to play catch up, and he's having all sorts of trouble with that truck. And that's going to be an easy win for Monster Energy. An uncharacteristic race for Chicken in that steamroller truck, as Monster Energy is going to move on to the next round. Tough break for Chicken in his debut here for Season 5. As we get ready for our next race of round number 2, USA 1 driven by yours truly against Cryo Wolf in a classic Monster Jam truck, Monster Mutt. Out of Fresno, California, 22 years old. Me and Cryo were duking it out back and forth all last season. And I think that we're going to get more of the same this season as Cryo has shifted to driving wheel. So, you know what I say, guys who drive on wheel, just get a little bit more respect from me because they're actually driving the truck like you would in real life. As I always am dedicated to that wheel. As Cryo gets in trouble, and then I'm also in trouble. Probably not the best endorsement for the wheel, as I just said. But you know what? When this happens, it's very interesting because the truck that travels the furthest continues on. So Cryo, you see, crashes there after his first turn. I was about to finish before I crashed. So USA 1 and myself will be moving on to the semifinals. Interesting race, though, for Season 5. This is really starting off to be a heck of a season. As me and USA 1 again will be moving on to the next round. Tough break for Cryo, but I have no doubt he's going to figure out that wheel, and he's going to be a contender before this season's over. As we get ready for the iconic monster truck himself, Gravedigger, driven by Electric Sins out of Houston, Texas. A lot of Houston, Texas people in the league this season. I guess there must be a whole group of friends here on Friday Tour that are all out of Houston. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We love the community that we have over in AODT as we get ready for Wildside versus Gravedigger. Yarner versus Electric Sins. Electric Sins looked really good last season when he was driving Gravedigger the Legend. Now back in that traditional Gravedigger truck. Let's see what he can do. As Wildside gets a little wild in that first turn, that's going to give Gravedigger a big lead. And it's going to be all Electric Sins and Gravedigger picking up his first W. And that's going to end round number 2 as Electric Sins and Gravedigger move on to the next round. It definitely seems like those who decided to run BKT tires have had the advantage tonight instead of running those Ukraines. As Vendetta, driven by Sweatz, this will be your first semi-final race as he's going to be taking on Blockerhead, who's looked so great in that Monster Energy truck tonight. Does he have enough to take down Sweatz, though? The king of the castle, the defending racing champion of Season 4 and Season 3. World Finals champion both seasons. So Blockerhead really has his work cut out for him if he wants to take down Sweatz. As both drivers head into the first turn, Sweatz so good at getting into those turns before other drivers. And it looks like Vendetta has about a half a truck length lead. As we head into that final turn, it's anybody's race. And Vendetta's going to pull this one out. Blockerhead and Monster Energy gave him everything he could handle, but Sweatz just so good. If being a 2-time racing champion was easy, everyone would do it. As we get ready for our other semifinal race, Gravedigger, driven by Electric Sins, taking on me in USA 1. I have to admit, just getting to the semifinals in my first race of Season 5 has been an honor, but do I have what it takes to get further than that and take this baby all the way to the finals? We're about to find out. This is something straight out of the 80s. Gravedigger versus USA 1, the Monster Mash final, if you will, for those TNT Tough Track fans as we head into the first turn. Gravedigger looking strong as we come across that midsection. Both trucks dead even, although I will say Gravedigger got a little wild off that jump into the final turn, and USA 1 and myself is going to be moving on as I roll it. Very traditional of the USA 1 truck. If you know, you know. USA 1 was one of the trucks that rolled constantly back in the day. As we get ready for our first racing final for Season 5 All Out Destruction Tour, the reigning, defending racing champion Vendetta against me in USA 1, host versus defending champion. Do I have what it takes to take down Sweatz? Both trucks have looked good all night. I've had this truck dialed in, but Sweatz is no easy task. He is the final boss in racing when it comes to AODT. Let's get ready to go green. Both trucks start off pretty strong. Although Vendetta gets into the turn first, I have all sorts of trouble. I think I lost my rear steer off the first jump. Yeah, you can see right there, my rear wheels are not spinning. And that's going to be all Sweatz needs to pick up his first win in Season 5. Pick it up right where he left off last season. Big time W for Sweatz in Vendetta. And I would say I'm surprised, but I don't think anybody is, as anybody who's raced against Sweatz understands that you cannot make any mistakes. And the second that I lost my rear steer, that little adjustment I had to make to my racing strategy was all Sweatz needed to do to finish things off, as he's going to come over and just pour salt in my wounds and rub it in that he was able to take me out in the finals. However, I am not upset. I was able to get to the finals for the first time on my own tour. Hopefully it's not the last, as Sweatz is going to take this one and celebrate it. Well-earned victory for him on this Chicago-style track here at Ford Field. As we get ready to take a look at our points. Currently, after week 1, in first place, Monster Energy. He had a great showing in freestyle. Texas Bandit won freestyle, while he's in second. Third place, Gravedigger. In fourth place, USA 1. I seem to be starting off better than I did last season. Square Force 1 in fifth. Excalibur in sixth. Vendetta in seventh. He had a rough go in freestyle, which is why he's in seventh. Overboard in eighth. Wildside in ninth. Steamroller in 10th. Followed by Sudden Impact and Monster Mutt. Now the Saturday tour, the East Coast tour that you'll be getting a chance to see later on this season. King Crunch, followed by Jurassic Attack. Lucas Oil Crusader in fourth. Gravedigger, followed by Mistress. TRD Tacoma, Ramunition. Black Pearl in eighth. Soaked Insider in ninth. In 10th, Son of a Digger in 11th. Metal Militia, and then Ice Age in 12th. Again, I'm going to get you guys an opportunity to highlight these trucks on these other tours as soon as I get the opportunity to. These snowstorms have been absolutely killing me when it comes to editing and filming and scheduling. But I want to highlight all these trucks, including the Sunday Points Rookie Tour running by Falf and Little Do Racing. And the points over there have Son of a Digger in first place, followed by Blacksmith, Destructor, Black Stallion after him, Gravedigger in fifth, Brutus in sixth, tearing it up in seventh, Metal Militia in eighth, ninth place, El Toro Loco in 10th, Cyclone, and 11th, Prowler, and 12th, Mohawk Warrior, bringing up the rear. Ladies and gentlemen, we have grown so much since Season 4, and Season 5 is looking to be absolutely incredible. For All Out Destruction Tour, I'm your host, E.G. Lately, saying see you on the next one.